wrong.
It's better.
There are so many great things going on in sports.
We gotta get it. We gotta get it. From our mics.
Test.
To your ears.
The latest update we got is...
Awesome!
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala!
Thank you for tuning in. 6 minutes after 11 o'clock, and we've got a multi-talented guy on the phone, and in many ways, some of his experiences seem to have paralleled mine in my earlier life. Greg Anton is on the phone. He's a singer and a songwriter. He's the co-founder of the band Zero. He's been playing music for a long time. 20, 30 years or so. He's in the San Francisco Bay Area. Well, I don't know that he is right now. We'll find out in a second. But I just wanted to say, he's got a book. It's called Face the Music. It's described as a story of love, self-discovery, and the spiritual power of music. To me, I saw in it not only the power of music, but also some of the quirky things about the music industry, especially in the 70s, which is what I remember. Mm-hmm. And he's got a beautiful love song called Stephanie. I'm going to try to see if I can play that for you on the air. And he's got another project called The Rock Collection, so a couple of different things we want to talk about. So let's just say hi to him. I want to compare notes a little bit. Greg Anton. Good morning, Greg. How you doing?
Good morning, Larry. Thanks so much for having me, and thanks for supporting the arts.
Oh, well, thank you for making the arts. Where are you right now?
I'm in Sonoma County, California, about an hour north of San Francisco.
Okay, well, thank you for getting up early to be with us on the show. You know, we had the guy from Jefferson Starship, David Freeberg, was on like a week or so ago, something like that.
Oh, okay. He's a good friend.
Is he a good friend? And I was thinking about this because I was in music more in the late 70s, and it sounds like you were too. Are you about David's age or younger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 65.
Okay, so you saw some. See, because I've always thought that the music that we came to love, it sounds like you've got the same, probably the same music in your iPod, CD collection, record collection, whatever you have, as me. And I always thought that the early guys who made rock music were like dismissed by the rest of the music industry because they were the hoity-toities,
Yeah.
But then when it started making money, then all the vultures came in, and by the time the 70s came around, it was a completely different scene than it was in the early 60s. And that was to the detriment of the artists like yourself who just simply wanted to make good music.
Yeah, I think you can see it in the whole culture. I mean, the cars got uglier, and the music got uglier, and the haircuts got uglier, and everything. And that was my perspective. I mean, there was some great music coming out of San Francisco and other areas in the late 70s, but I don't think there were very nice-looking cars coming out of America.
Isn't that funny? Isn't it interesting that a lot of good music did come from San Francisco? Do you have any explanation for that? I mean, why was that?
That's what drew me to San Francisco. I was on the East Coast. I grew up in Hartford, Connecticut, and I heard the music coming from the Bay Area and just kind of gravitated out towards it.
So it wasn't necessarily the area. It was the fact that there was some great music coming out of there and then attracting more great music.
I came out for the music myself, and I could hear it. It's the San Francisco sound. I mean, it's organic, very honest sound, in my opinion. And I still feel that way.
And the same thing could be said for what's that area in New Orleans, in Louisiana? What's that area? Muscle Shoals.
Mm-hmm.
Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Yeah, I don't know if you're a fan of that music, but the same kind of thing happened there.
Right. There were pockets of culture that the art was coming from. It's true all over the world.
Yeah.
And it's still true today.
And I don't know that Liverpool had Liverpool had the Beatles, but I don't know that I know there were a few groups that came out of Liverpool,
Mm-hmm.
and I often wonder how much of that was just, record companies looking for the next big thing,
Yeah.
So
I've often questioned that. I mean, there's a little tiny island of Jamaica that has a tremendous musical influence on the entire world, and there are plenty of islands all over the world that didn't have the prolific music the way Jamaica did, or the amount of music that comes out of London relative to Scotland, or that comes out of the United States relative to Canada. There's music everywhere, but in some certain areas, it's just prolific.
So you reminded me of, remind me of the guy's name again? The guy who's synonymous with Jamaica. What's his name again?
Bob Marley?
Bob Marley,
Yes.
thank you. I just drew a blank for a second. Yeah, he made a statement one time. They were asking him, how did your life change when you became successful? And he said something to the effect of, well, every time I record a song, it's successful. I don't measure it by money. So, I mean, that's. Do you ever look at it that way? Do you record a song and say, "Wow, I'm successful"? Whether the world sees it or not is a different story.
Of course, it's a piece of art, and it reflects yourself, it expresses yourself, and you put it out there. I think I've published about 50 songs, and I think every song I write is going to be a hit song, and they're nowhere close. Sometimes they get a little ruffle in them out there in the market, but I just think it's my song and it's my thing, and I think it's a great thing, and that's why I do it, and I appreciate other people's songs very often as much, or if not more, than my own.
And it is as much a work of art, and you are as much of an artist as Picasso, as Michelangelo. I mean, as any of them. Some of the songs might be the equivalent of sketches. Others might be the equivalent of a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's true. The more truth there is in it, I think the more you can feel from a piece of art by experience.
Did you paint the cover of your book?
It was Stanley Mouse, the wonderful artist. He's done so much. He did the first 8 Grateful Dead albums, and has done so many since then. And he's a good friend of mine, and he made an oil painting, and as a result was the cover of the book, which I'm very proud of.
It's extremely, it's very artistic, but you can see the emotion in the young lady's face. And is that Stephanie?
That's Stephanie, yeah. I love that painting he did. Which, by the way, the book is Face the Music. It's you can check it out on my website, gregantonmusic.com. It's also available on Amazon, or you can get it in bookstores and Barnes & Noble's website and so forth.
Were you always yourself writing music and performing, or were you trying to be somebody that the record companies wanted you to be?
I was just playing my music. I really didn't try to steer it towards one direction or another. I'm not that proficient of a musician. I just kind of do what I do. I plunk around on the piano is where I compose, and I perform on the drums.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. So when you write a song, you're doing it on piano, and then when you're performing it, you're the backbeat.
Right. That's the way I do it. It's a little unusual, but that's how I do it.
So we definitely want to make sure we focus on the book, Face the Music. That's, I think, the primary reason you're here. But I guess there's so much of your story that I'm just curious about, Greg. We are up against the break. Before we go to the break, can you tell me, how can I find the song? I want the listeners to hear Stephanie.
Just briefly, the book is about a singer-songwriter, a down-and-out guy, a struggling street musician in San Francisco. He writes a song about his girlfriend, whose name is Stephanie. The song gets stolen, and there's a legal battle, and I won't say more than that. I gave the book to the Grateful Dead lyricist Robert Hunter, and he gave me back a beautiful love song called Stephanie. He gave me the lyrics, I wrote the music. You can get Stephanie, you can hear it on my website, or you can download it at iTunes.
Okay, excellent. We're coming back. We're not ending the interview right now. I hope you know that. So when we come back, I want to be real fair to the book. You kind of gave us a real thumbnail sketch right there of the story. But when we come back, we'll look deeper into Face the Music, and hopefully I can play Stephanie over the radio for everybody. So we'll take that break right now and be right back with Greg Anton. You're listening to WOCA.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, sunny to partly cloudy and warm. A shower or thunderstorm this afternoon. High 91 to 95. Cloudy tonight, low 67 to 69. Partly sunny, remaining warm tomorrow. A thunderstorm in the afternoon. High 89 to 93. Tomorrow night, an evening shower or thunderstorm. Otherwise, partly cloudy, low 68 to 72. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Steve Williams.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services. When your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements, from damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
That is exactly the kind of music I like, right there.
Yes.
All right. Well, there it is. That's the song Stephanie, and it is the sub-creation, I guess, of the book Face the Music. Greg Anton is the author of the book Face the Music. We're going to talk about the book more. Of course, the song, as he just told us, is written by himself and Robert Hunter, and I found it on his website. Easy enough to find. GregAntonMusic.com. It's got the book. It's got so much about Greg on it, and it's an honor to have him on our show. So, Greg, tell us about the character Woody. Is that any way you? Is that does Woody seem like you to you?
Woody is a conglomerate of all the great guitar players I've been lucky enough to play with, or to all the great musicians I've known and playing with. I realized after I wrote the book that I'm a drummer, and there are about 3 sentences in the book about drummers, and the rest of the book is about guitar players. And I realized that from my seat on the drums, all I've been seeing all my life are guitar players.
Well, that would explain it, right? Now, does it reflect in any way the trials and tribulations that a musician would experience back in the 70s, and does that reflect anything that's going on today in the music world?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, musicians are musicians. They have been throughout history. I think, or artists generally, I think are a certain archetype. And the very focused master artists, some of us have been lucky enough to know them. They're a certain type of person. They're focused on their craft, and like this guy Woody in this book, he can write a brilliant song, but he has trouble talking to his girlfriend, or he has trouble talking to his landlord, or has trouble doing anything but playing music. But when he plays music, it's sublime.
So did you go through that? I mean, did you have? A lot of times that happens to people, though. They'll have something that they invest all of their self-esteem in, whether it's the ability to throw a football, the ability to play guitar, and that's their complete self-esteem, and they've somehow neglected the everyday stuff like socializing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Some guitar players just don't know how to socialize, but they know how to play the guitar, and that's how they express their truth. You can get it from their music.
Which I guess that's why God invented managers, right? Agents.
Is that part of the discussion that you'll be having on June 21st at the performance and the live reading in San Francisco?
Yeah, I'm playing at the Great American Music Hall in San Francisco on Father's Day, June 21st, with this wonderful guitar player named Steve Kimmock. He's from San Francisco, and then we're going to have some rockin' music there. And I'm going to do, got some tentative plans to do it around the country, that type of event, and get the word out about my book.
Wow. So what is the Rock Collection? Tell us about that.
It's a new band I have. It's with Melvin Seals from the Jerry Garcia Band, Stu Allen, Dan Leibowitz, and Robin Sylvester. It's a wonderful band. We've just been playing for a couple of years around the West Coast.
I have a friend, and when we were speaking to David Freeberg, I brought my friend's name up, and he didn't know him, so I'm going to ask you if you know. I have a friend he's friends with Paul Kantner. He's a keyboardist, and he's an attorney, and I think he's a poet. I'm pretty sure he's a poet. His name is Bobby Coleman. Does his name ring a bell at all?
No, I'm sorry.
No, see, nobody knows Bobby.
No. Bobby knows everybody.
But he seems to know everybody. Yeah, yeah. But he lives out there. He also grew up in New York and was I guess slightly younger than you. Not a whole lot.
The Bay Area is crawling with musicians, and that's the reason I crawled out here.
You seem to be a humorist as well. Did you have a hard time incorporating humor and seriousness into your story?
No, not at all. The story, the music scene. I write about the music scene and what the backstage and the rehearsals and the gigs, and what the scene is. And if anybody's been to a rock and roll show, either on the stage or in the audience, they'll recognize a lot of stuff in this book.
Are you outdoors right now?
I am.
I hear birds.
I'm in my back deck. It's a beautiful morning out here in Seattle.
Can you hear the birds in your headset, Robin?
Yes, I can.
I hear the birds.
Yes, I can.
You got
It's
California
wonderful.
birds coming into Florida's airwaves.
It's the music.
When the ladies read your book, do you hope that they're going to identify with Stephanie and some of the scenarios?
Hope so. I mean, Stephanie is a guitar player's girlfriend, and kind of a stereotype. And Woody, the guitar player, is kind of a stereotype guitar player. And there's a love story there as they try to stay together, and as Woody tries to get his career going, which is very difficult for both of them. But there's a lot of ups and downs, and it's a struggle, and that's what the book is about.
So the fact that Robert Hunter wrote the words to Stephanie, is that a departure for you? Are you typically the lyricist and the composer?
I have published about 50 songs. I've never written any lyrics. all my vocal songs, I've been lucky enough to have Robert Hunter lyrics. He's one of the most prolific songwriters going in America today, in my opinion.
But you wrote such a wonderful book. So words, I mean, you are skilled with words.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm just curious why that didn't happen in the music.
Yeah, it's a different thing, writing lyrics, and it's a very different skill. It's a specialization, really. And Robert Hunter, he wrote all the Grateful Dead songs. He writes with Bob Dylan, and he's just writes with a lot of great musicians. He's got it down, how to put words to music, and I'm lucky enough to be able to work with him. It's always a thrill. I give him my music, he gives me back beautiful words.
He must have been just as in awe with you as you are with him, because you truly have a great collaboration on your hands.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for supporting this whole project.
Now, I want to get back to the book, but one more question about the song. The singer, Tim Hockenberry, he's not in the group, the Rock Collection, or he is?
No, this was just a bunch of guys, good friends. I've played with all of them here and there, and they were around, and they were the sound I wanted. And I got Melvin Seals to play organ, and Tim to sing, and Steve Kimmock to play guitar. And Robert Hunter wrote the words, and I just put it together like that.
Have you had any, going to the book again, Face the Music is the book, Greg Anton is the author, and have you had younger readers comment to you? Have you had readers who are maybe in their 20s? Are they interested in this? Yes?
Two of my very earliest readers were my son, 23 years old, and my mother-in-law, 85 years old.
Wow.
And they both reported back with accolades. They really enjoyed the book. So I'm hoping that people of all ages will dig it.
Yeah, and
it's been reported to me that it's a page-turner, and there's a pretty fast action story while this struggling musician gets through his life.
I concur with that.
Well, and if you took away the word musician and replace it with person, I think you could be a farmer, and the struggle that you go through is still the struggle that you go through.
Yeah, that's very perceptive, actually. That's true. People are dedicated to what they're dedicated to, and there are master carpenters and master craftsmen and master athletes, people that just really focus on their craft, and we all know them. And we try to do that ourselves with whatever we're doing, I think, and we all succeed to some extent or another.
The fact that you're involved with music makes the title have I guess, a different feeling, and knowing that you've been involved with music, Greg. But I mean, Face the Music is a cliche that we use for so many things. It's one of the few music cliches. Most cliches are from baseball, right?
Yeah,
I hit a home run. or golf. It's par for the course. Face the music. We all have to face the music in our lives, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. Whether you're in music or not, this is about everybody. We all fall in love.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that there are several books on the market called Face the Music. They're nonfiction books. So if you're looking up on Amazon or someplace, it's Face the Music by Greg Anton.
There you go. I actually have a copy I'd like to give away. So if you'd like to have the copy that Greg sent us, you can call me right now. You'll be the only one who gets the free one, 622-9622. The rest of us have to go buy it. Greg, I know you have a website, gregantonmusic.com. Any other places you want to send us to online that'll help us get the book or even the music?
You can get the book at gregantonmusic.com, or get in the information. You can hear the song. The song is also available on iTunes, and like I said, the book, Face the Music, is available everywhere the books are available, in stores and Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and so forth.
Is it a Kindle or what do you call it, ebook?
Yeah, yes, it is.
Okay.
And if you decide to take your conversation on the road, that would be beneficial to everyone, I think.
All right, yeah, I'm looking into it. I am doing some book readings and events with music around the country. Those will be announced. The information's on my website.
Greg, thank you for getting up early to be with us. It sounds beautiful where you are. I can still hear the birds.
Yeah.
Greg, Anton.
Well, thank you for supporting the arts. It's a partnership, and you need the artists to talk to on your radio station, but without you people, we'd be singing in the shower.
Thank you, Greg.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Wild weather leaving a mark in many areas in the plains and Midwest over the weekend. Last night, a tornado ripped through Van, Texas.
We know that 26 people who live in Van were transported by EMS to local hospitals, but we're told that many more could have gone by private transportation. At the same time, 10 people are unaccounted for.
Fox's Will Carr. 2 people died in Nashville, Arkansas when a twister destroyed their mobile homes. Residents of Delmont, South Dakota returning home after storms injured 9 people. Western South Dakota got a foot of snow.
This time of the year, it's a little less normal, but we have had snowstorms in the past in the month of May.
Scott Rudge of the National Weather Service. Lawyers for Boston Marathon bomber Johar Tsarnaev have rested their case, trying to save him from the death penalty. The defense team called more than 40 witnesses. Fox News, we report, you decide.
From Progressive here on a road trip with Bob, who owns a dry cleaning service.
Well, it's not really a road trip. We're only going a mile.
In a mile, you can save money on your commercial auto insurance with discounts like Safe Driver, Business Experience, and Paid in Full.
Nice.